Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the vlog. And today we're talking the current state of DC, which is pretty much easy, self explanatory. The DCU ended last year with Aquaman 2, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to spoil something real quick. If you haven't seen it, you know what? I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil anything, but the ending is trash. That's all I'm going to say. That movie was pretty much garbage. Like, how do you really end on that note? Like there was so much potential with this universe. Like Marvel, Marvel's problem was that they didn't have all the rights to their characters because they sold it back when they were about to go bankrupt. But DC always had the rights to their characters. So it made it way more possible for them to make a connected universe than Marvel. But Marvel somehow was the one that came out successful. When they literally all they had were the Avengers. They didn't have Spider-Man. They didn't have the X-Men. They have the Fantastic Four. They didn't have all these characters. They slowly but surely got them. And now they're the more successful connected universe. And doesn't it doesn't make sense to me why and how DC somehow failed when they had all the rights. But DC, what's it called? DC started off with the Man of Steel movie with Henry Cavill. It was a pretty good film, I would say. But for some reason, the sequel was Batman v Superman. Like when I first saw that, I was like, oh, well, let me watch their Batman solo movie first. I thought there was literally a Batman solo movie beforehand, which that's how it should have been. There should have been a Batman solo movie, and not like not just go straight into Batman versus Superman. It doesn't make sense. So for them to just not give Batman a solo movie and not even explain this new version of Batman, it's just crazy to me. And just dude, they were just literally that's the whole reason why their universe failed was because they were trying to just skip to the team up movies and whatnot. And they failed at that because they didn't set up their characters the way that they should have been. Like literally, Iron Man had his solo movie. Thor had his solo movie. Captain America had a solo movie. Hulk had his solo movie. We literally learn about these characters through their solo movies. Black Widow didn't get a solo movie till 2021, but she did. She did have a huge role in the second Iron Man, and it basically was kind of her movie as well, and it just set up the character. Hawkeye, we got a tease to in the first Thor, where his little cameo and whatnot, with him pulling out the bow and arrow and whatnot. But like, at least Marvel didn't give everyone a solo movie, but at least they set up these characters in the bigger characters' solo movies for them to all team up, and that's why it felt so good when they all teamed up in the first Avengers movie, and that's why I feel DC failed at that, and that's why the DCU failed pretty much. Now let's talk about what the DCU is going to become. The DCU is now going to become a new universe, new big universe by James Gunn, someone that worked on the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Now it's kind of sad that they kind of had to get someone from Marvel to fix their universe and basically reboot it. And what makes it even more sad is that in Black Adam, they finally got Henry Cavill back, and then they rehired him just to fire him again, pretty much. Like I feel like that's also why DCU also failed was because they had a terrible relationship with their actors. Like I think Henry Cavill just left. I don't even think he was fired. He quit being Superman because of drama behind the scenes. They fired Cyborg because of drama behind the scenes. They what else? I think Ben Affleck didn't want to be Batman anymore, and they were practically just forcing him to be in the movies like The Flash and another films that he appeared in. And then Shazam, I think, had some problems. I mean, Zachary Levi had problems with The Rock because The Rock, for some reason, didn't want to have Shazam in his film and didn't want to appear in the Shazam films, even though his character really is like Shazam is just a huge part of Black Adam, the character. But for some reason, The Rock didn't want to have anything to do with Zachary Levi and his films, and they didn't want him to be appearing in his films either. So those things just didn't make sense. They were just setting up. They were just like what making Suicide Squad for no reason, I would say, because they did not need what they needed was to make a Batman solo film. No, start off with Superman. They did good with starting off with Superman, but then you give Batman a solo film, then you give Wonder Woman a solo film, her solo film, and then you get a Flash his solo film, and then that's how you do it. Like even with the Flash movie, they skipped to Flashpoint. That's like a third movie plot because that's like the multiverse and all that. Him going the back in time to change things with the whole DC universe. We were all led to believe that that one change that he was gonna make in the Flash movie was gonna pretty much make the DCU, the new DCU, but it was all a lie. It was just for us to go to the theaters, waste our money, and just go and buy a ticket to watch The Flash. And it was pretty much really ass. Really, really, really ass. Honestly, I think that DC just really, really needs to fix itself. I hope James Gunn is gonna do. I feel like he's gonna do really good with Superman Legacy, especially with the people he's cast. David Cornsweet, I believe he's already casted Lois Lane. Supergirl has been casted. A Green Lantern has been casted. And with everything he has planned, like with the Lantern series, I feel like that's gonna be good because it's gonna be like a cop show with Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan both being the Green Lanterns of that series. I feel like that's a really good idea that he has there. And then I believe he also has a Swamp Thing movie coming out. Is Swamp Thing DC or Marvel? There's a Man Thing. I always get those two confused. They're so similar to each other. I always get them confused. But it's one of them. It's one of them. He has a movie coming out about them. And then Supergirl, I believe, is getting her own movie. The Commandos I believe is getting their own series, an animated series, and then they're gonna have those people play the live action version too, which I believe that's a cool idea. Apparently that might even come out at the end of this year, so we might get something from that. Other than the DCU pretty much being set up and whatnot, we are getting Joker 2, which is coming out at the end of this year. Lady Gaga's playing Harley Quinn. I'm excited for that. Joker, the first Joker was amazing. It was a great film. I feel like it was like almost on par with The Dark Knight. Like it just felt like it needed to be like somehow connected to those films because it just gave off the same vibe. You feel me? I'm not trying to like belittle that. Like The Dark Knight is like the highest. It's the best superhero film like of all time, pretty much. I would say, other than Spider-Man 2, the best superhero film of all time. But I feel like Joker just gave off the same vibe, and it just it just deserves to be a part of that universe as well. I don't know. I don't know. Like just put it in the comments below if I'm right or wrong right now. Put it in the comments below. Put it in the comments. Other than that, I feel that the current state of DC, like man, you need help. You need help. Blue Beetle, amazing film. If that's the first DCU film, then I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. I think that should be the very first film because it'll be essentially like an Iron Man. Because Iron Man wasn't the most popular Marvel superhero. He wasn't. He wasn't an A-list superhero. He was like B-list, maybe even C-list at the time. But when his movie came out, he became an A-list. He became one of the most popular superheroes of all time. Like only Marvel comic fans knew him before his movie came out. And I feel like it's Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. helped that a lot. And if DC could just have that with Blue Beetle, I feel like that would be really amazing. Because they did not show Batman or Superman. They did reference them. They said that they exist, but they didn't show them at all. So it could just fit in the new DCU. Hopefully, because I want to see that Blue Beetle again. I want to see them continue that story because that movie was just so good. It deserves to be in the DCU, man. If it's the first movie, I totally agree. I'm on board. Like that Like I know that I kind of defeats what I'm trying to say, and making the the heroes that don't deserve a film and to focus on the more bigger heroes and whatnot. That kind of defeats that. But hey, that was a good movie, and I think it did pretty good. And I think they are making a sequel. So if that's the first DCU film, I'm totally on board with it. I'm totally on board with it. Superman Legacy, I can't wait for. I can't wait. I can't wait for it. I feel like James Gunn is the perfect choice to have his own universe and like to be the helm of it. Like this is it's amazing. It's amazing. And I think they're going on the right track. I hope they are, because a second failure, like there's no coming back from that. There's no coming back. But I really do hope that they bring justice to DC in the live action films, and they just they just succeed and maybe even be better than Marvel, because Marvel right now isn't doing well. It's not doing so well. Like people are hating on it. Like people are. It's just been mixed all around with Marvel right now. Like people are saying it should have ended with Endgame, and I don't think that. I think it should continue up until Secret Wars, because I feel like Secret Wars has a great chance at being better than Endgame, because it's like literally everything of Marvel, and then DC is gonna have that with the Crisis on Infinite Earths. I know that's what they're leading towards. I know that's what the DCU was trying to lead towards. James Gunn, James Gunn, just do it right. I know you can succeed. Make DC the better franchise. But I think that ends today's vlog, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. I know this vlog is probably coming out pretty late. I woke up late, so that's why. But I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Let me know in the comments below if I should continue doing this series. And yeah, that's the end of today's vlog. All right, see ya.